very much. I'm just winding up. I'm saying, because the minister addressed the past, the MP is addressing the past, so I just want to set this record straight. My point is that this is a government that attributed all those difficulties to non-performance.
Incompetence.
You see, incompetence. And so if you do not anticipate crisis, you can never run a government for 4 years without crisis. If you do not anticipate crisis, you will dismantle stabilization fund, you will dismantle sinking fund, you will dismantle all those structures that were put in place, and that is why we are where we are today. Because despite 3 oil fields, we were not paying down debt. What we're doing is that we're just refinancing the
okay. So let's look at this. Yes. For example, this free fuel coupons for government appointees. Until now, I didn't know that there's so much money in that area. So we are told by the Deputy Minister of Finance that as much as 52 million Ghana cedis will accrue from the 50% cut on the fuel coupons for government appointees alone. 52 million. Here at Joy FM, we have had presenters, host of shows, walk out of the premises, go out there and tell ministers and deputy ministers to switch off their engines, because, as we know, because they pull this fuel for free. They take the cars to everywhere, and the engine is on 24/7. What madness? So this is a good policy, isn't it?
Subsidy. I didn't leave my engine on any time I came to.
Yes, we know about your situation.
No,
we know about your situation. Yes.
Let me just state that what I know, I don't know about free. What I know is that we make sure that all those things are budgeted for. That is public financial money. For MPs and whatever. You see why there was an unpopularity of gift. We turn it electronically. We abolished paper warrants. Contractor supplies were no longer coming to the Ministry of Finance. And as and when you spent, the money was being deducted from your ceiling. If you hit it, that's it. You hit your budget. That's what gift was all about. How come we started paying contractors outside gift? We started paying contractors outside gift. Some of them were discounting, in banks who were paying those banks, where the factoring and the discounting was taking place. Right. So yes, it is welcome. And let me therefore take advantage of the question you have raised to also say that, these are discretionary expenditures, as the minister pointed out.
Yeah, which he says is going to be further cut by 10%. They had already cut it, and they are cutting again by 10%.
Well, we did not have the money. Let me make 2 points. We did not have the money to pay anyway. As the first point, we did not have the money to pay, and I was explaining. And secondly, there is austerity in discretionary expenditure by every government in the first quarter. And that is because revenue is just trickling in from Buta and others through customs and the rest. Because you have spent, for 3-4 quarters the previous year. And therefore you tend to suspend, those expenditures, particularly sometimes into the third quarter before you spend on them. And let me explain why I said that. We have a situation, and this is a problem facing us. We have a situation where we are using the total revenue, it used to be tax revenue, total revenue, right, to pay compensation and interest. Interest is statutory, otherwise you default. Wages is regarded as quasi-statutory, otherwise government will not pay its employees and the rest. And these constitute about 70 billion out of the this thing, which is the total budget. When you take what is regarded as discretionary, by the way, when you talk about discretionary, you say recurrent. The total recurrent is discretionary. If you say you are not going to abolish or review free SHS, some of those payments, unless you want the children to go without textbooks, without all of this, become virtually statutory. Become virtually, because you have a commitment in terms of those expenditures. So what is left of the discretionary expenditure, right? And so if we are borrowing after compensation and interest, we are borrowing, and it's not even enough for those two items.
Right.
Something. What it means is that you are borrowing already for those discretionary expenditures.
Okay.
You are borrowing for capital. You are borrowing for arrears. So the question is, which of the discretionary? Why were we not giving numbers?
Okay, Mr. Terkper, hold on.